Hello, hello, hello. Welcome back to the channel. I'm Captain Quasar, and welcome back to another unofficial H3 waiting room. Is the stream cutting out? What just happened? Okay, I think we're good. I think it was just taking a second. There's a bit of a delay, but it looks like it's going all right. Thank you everybody for stopping in. Sorry it took me a little bit longer than usual. Honestly, I was looking through these legal cases with from the about the Snarkers, and there's just a lot to go through that I didn't realize was out already, and I was trying to look through it, and there's a lot of hooey, as the kids like to say. What does '07 mean? I have no clue. Honestly I thought Ricky One-Eyed Ricky said 6-7. I wasn't paying attention, I guess. But as always, we have some Instagram things to look at first, and then some Reddit posts, and then a video about Alex Jones that is kind of crazy. Strange updates. And then looking at the legal updates. So, some good stuff, as always. Let's get into it. Instagram.
I'd probably put that down if I was you.
Was that pepper spray?
It looked like a bear mace.
I'd probably put that down.
Yeah, it looks like a thing of bear mace. I forgot this was real life. I thought I was Superman. I'm bugging. This is real life. They thugging. So true. No, one sec. Admire this guy for a second. When I got shot in the head for the third time, my brother never left my side. I saw a comment. I couldn't find it. But he said, someone asked, was it 3 times at once or 3 different times you got shot? And he said 1996, 2000. He said 1996, 2007, 2017. And then someone else replied saying, "Hey, bro, based on that timeline, you're about due." Might be a true statement. Yeah, he didn't get shot 3 times. He got shot for the 3rd time. It definitely means something else. Hits a little different. Bro's beefing with Deadshot. So true. Big bro, please say you out the streets now, because 3 times is heinous work. Never stop liking this so I can come back in 2027 and see if it breaks the curse. Crazy. Once every 10 years I get shot in the head. On that 10th year, once he hits 2027, he's going to be like looking over his shoulder every few months. Every few hours, probably. Every few minutes. If it was me, I'd be worried. It's an omen laying over the year. I've recently started following these guys. It's definitely a bait and switch. Red State Update. Just some Trump-hating rednecks, Jackie Broyles and Dunlap podcast from a bunker underneath Jackie's Market in Murphys, Tennessee. Also, they Instagram some. Just some good old boys.
LGBTQ plus suicide line shut down.
Yeah.
But the people who shut it down are the people who make them want to kill themselves. That's it. That's my take.
Well, that's pretty much all you need on that. Yep, there it is.
Is it not enough for you to make gay people want to kill themselves? You've also got to take away the suicide hotline? That's petty. I mean, it's monstrous, but it's petty too. LGBTQ plus suicide line shut down.
Yeah, they're making content from a fallout shelter. Good morning, everyone. I hope your morning's going well. But yeah, I really do love a true Southern drawl. You know what I mean? I could listen to a man like this tell stories for hours. In big news, had so much fun with Labubu Poppy. VODs coming soon. I wonder if they just talk Labubus. They have Rich Lux come into the studio. But this isn't the only big news. We have some bigger news. Biggest news? You know what? I'll wait. I know a few of you have to know. If you guys say it in chat, then I'll post it, but gotta wait sometimes. Don't want to be the one to spill the beans. I guess he posted it on his Instagram, right? If Alex gets mad at me, that's my excuse. Our boy made it. Our boy finally made it. Nah, I just spoiled it anyways. I don't care. Who cares? What's Alex gonna do? He posted it 14 hours ago. Some spoiler, you know what I mean? Fit 500 pages of news. But Alex finally made it. He makes Ethan look so petite. But we'll see what comes out of that. You never know. Did he say, yep. Special thank you to Rich Lux for bringing me with him. Rich, you turned the hardest year into the best. Thank you. That interview with Rich Lux really really got him in the door, didn't it? It's good stuff. Those were the one pictures I was like, I probably shouldn't show those. I could show the other ones with the other crew. He didn't get one with Zach. I'm wondering if he wasn't in the office that day. Good old Nate. Just two Mexicans hanging out. Two Mexicans in the office. They're taking over. Viva la Mexico. hanging out with the Swede too. Foreign invasion. But good stuff. Hanging out with the dogs. Olive. Not Olive. It just came out because I was thinking of Alfredo. Olive and Alfredo. The goodest. Alex can be the Mexican Nate. That's so true. All of those photos are AI. Oh, you know what? I hadn't thought about that. I'm weirdly parasocially proud of Alex, and I know it's weird to say, but fuck it. Hey, we got to be proud of our boy. You know what I mean? It's like if you're a subscriber, then you see the rise. You know what I mean? It's like all the kids who are like, Jake Paul got another Bugatti. I'm so excited. You know what I mean? It's stuff like that. You really get into it because of the idea that you had something to do with it. You go, you're welcome, Jake Paul. But moving into Reddit swiftly, we have a couple posts from Yeet. I realized all I pulled was from Yeet. I didn't have much from the Reddit to pull from, so oops. It happens. Starting to think these lawsuits are a slam dunk. iDubbbz is stoically streaming. I actually want to check this now. But Hassan tells Ethan Klein to drop the lawsuit. Drop the lawsuit, Ethan. You know they're frivolous. Nothing to do with copyright. You'll win a lot more good favor. I'm sure he's not going to lay off. seems like a petty tyrant, so narcissistic. Win good favor with who? Also, that's a good way to end your plea. You know, you to really go like, hey man, please, 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 drop the lawsuits. You can win over good favor. You fucking tyrant narcissist. I thought this person made a good point though. Win good favor with who? If Ethan were to stop, the hate would get even more insane because everyone would accuse him of knowing they were frivolous to begin with. No, exactly. I mean, it's kind of it's a game of chicken at this point. You know what I mean? Oh, he's not stoically streaming. He's not even sitting there. He's literally just playing a squirrel can. But yeah, I don't understand why this. Like, what's the point of even doing this? I guess there really is nothing that Hassan could do or say that would make his like audience turn against him, and I guess that's kind of what he's just coasting on right now. Because this statement alone is just so like. Like I'm trying to say it in the most polite way, phrasing as possible, as to not not to alert YouTube AI algorithms, but it's cowardly in a sense. It's cowardly both on two ends, because you're begging him to drop the lawsuits, but then also you don't want to you want to save face for your audience by calling him a petty tyrant and a narcissist. I know this is like clipped, so like these ellipses are to show spaces in what he was saying, so there's probably other statements that were made in between these, but regardless, it's still kind of funny. I like people saying drop the lawsuit like they're a superhero. Hey, drop the lawsuit now. This is my message to Ethan Klein. Drop the goddamn lawsuits, or else. It really does just seem so. It's corny. You know what I mean? It's the true definition of corny. Yes, always.
Why do people keep saying Superman Hassan superhero W?
We'll never know. And then Yeet makes a very solid point. Ethan Klein's recently added controversies section on Wikipedia is pretty interesting. I looked up a number of influencers with what many would consider to be past controversies, and none of them have their own section. Things like laughing at Cutie Cinderella are more worthy of their own controversy section than influencers who have been on international news for what they've been involved in. If you really want a good time, go on Wikipedia and look through the revision history that's made on a lot of different articles. There's a lot of different Wikipedia articles that honestly use that have malicious actors trying to manipulate information and change stuff. But I went to check because I was wondering what the actual changes that were being made were. Not that I necessarily care about the actual changes themselves, but I'm wondering what the actual complaints were made, because they leave these little comments, which I think are funny. So on where's 25th? Why can't I read this right? 25th of September 2025. This person added controversies, fixed inconsistencies, and then reverted. I guess that's maybe when it was added. But then the controversies, templating the controversies, we should not have a laundry list of everything Ethan Klein is criticized for. Yeah, and they're basically just pointing out that there's a difference between controversies and legitimate controversies and people making complaints. Even the if you wanted to be controversies, if you had something on there like the FUPA fund, that would be a stupid thing to put on a controversy section, because it was a fake controversy that was actually just a nothing burger in the end. That the main propagator, Mudahar, I don't know if he was the main propagator, but he was a big proponent of the FUPA fund. Did I say FUPA coin? I meant the FUPA Fund. Is that what it was called? The FUPA Fund? This is something completely different. But yeah, it was the FUPA Fund. But even like something like that would be like a non-starter. Isn't Yeet a Destiny sweeper? I don't know. Is that true? I like Theory better than Nick being comment cop on Twitter or Yeet. Is there someone named Theory? Yeah, I just look at Yeet's posts on the subreddit, gotta be honest. I barely use Twitter. I only use Twitter if I want to make sure that a tweet's actually real. Why can you theorize I'm someone cool like Ryan Gosling? Is Ryan Gosling? Yeah, see, you're less Ryan Gosling, more Ryan Reynolds. Some people like him, some people hate him. The people that like him, they also get a lot of hate. Kind of makes sense. I'm just kidding. Love you, internet tough guy. Keep it tough in the comments. But they were adding controversies, telling them to not just add a laundry list of everything that people talk about say bad about Ethan Klein. And then this person removed the controversy section as it is biased and based on unreliable sources. And then Han Kim came in and was like, I undid the revision. It's me. I did it. And then the controversy section is not appropriate for this article and is highly biased from a different person that wasn't the original remover. They removed it, and then this person goes, information should not be deleted wholesale like this without participation in talk page. Don't edit war. Undid revision. And then they undid the revision that this person did about the controversy. So they brought the controversies page back. But then shortly after, literally 10 minutes later, okay, they were really bad sourcing here. Removing some that are bad. And then they came back a little bit longer after that. What is that? 7 minutes later? Wait, this controversy section is new. WP onus is on folks who added it, and then reverted it. It gets reverted again. They're fixing white spaces. I don't know. Undid revisions. Han Kim was trying to come in. I keep thinking, is this Hans Kim from Kill Tony? That'd be an interesting little twist. But Han Kim is in here reverting it, and then finally, Han Kim is reverting to vandalism. I removed the vandalism and left a warning on his account. And then they fully removed the actual controversies page, controversy section. Ryan Gosling doesn't seem like much of a tough guy in my opinion. I'm not convinced. Which movie? He was pretty tough in the fuck's it called? Oh. That's a pretty lame name, I gotta be honest. I was trying to think of I was like, what's a movie in the car? It's just called Drive. He was pretty tough in Drive, right? Look at him. That's so me. Internet vandalism. They really be in here doing vandalism and then get their Wikipedia account tagged for it. What are their contribs? See, and you look at these people's accounts, it's like they've been doing stuff for a while and are usually doing it in random places. 50s progression. Also known as Heart and Soul chords, the Stand By Me changes, the doo-wop progression, and the ice cream changes. It's a chord progression and turnaround used in Western popular music. But moving swiftly along, now we're going to talk about Nazi Alex Jones. Now here's the thing. I've seen some people saying stuff along the lines of, are we surprised? But here's the actual point I want to make. I am surprised. Yeah, Drive by Incubus. Or Incubus by Drive. Which is it? Incubus. I only know that one song, right? It's the band? Yeah, Incubus is the band. Drive by Incubus. It was like it would be weird if the band's name was Drive. I like only know them because of that song. But people are saying that Alex Jones is a Nazi. Like, oh, how is this a surprise? Everybody already knew he's had Nazi tendencies. And I want to say that I'm not a fan of Alex Jones. But I have followed Alex Jones as an insane conspiracy theorist for a long time, since I was a young child. Not a young child, but ever since, I think what I listened to him, when the first time I heard about him, was when he was on Joe Rogan, and they did like an 8-hour podcast or something, and I listened to the whole thing, because at the time... and again, that wasn't even when I was a kid. That was like a few years ago. I'm really hyperbolizing here, but I've been in tune with Alex Jones for quite a few years now, and he's always talked against Nazism, however you say it, and fascism, and against Hitler, and specifically, like he seems like a history kind of guy. He's an insane conspiracy theorist. But when it comes to things like the world wars, he's always been kind of on the straight and narrow in terms of the facts. And this does seem more performative than anything. But trust me, I know too much about Alex Jones. He talked about his dad working in a facility. He worked in a hospital in Texas where they were stealing organs from people, and it's where they do like kidnapping, and that's how he learned about the elite and what they do with their with baby's blood and stuff like that. With the baby's blood. But yes, Alex Jones and Nick Fuentes just got instantly kicked off YouTube. They both tried to make a comeback for some reason. Don't ask me why. They thought that they could be swift and be slick and be sly and be like, hey, it's me, Nick Fuentes. Hey, it's me, Alex Jones. And they could just, walk back in with a Hitler mustache on. Like, it's no big deal.
I could tell you it had a wild...
And I know it's what is it called? The toothbrush? Is it a toothbrush mustache? The Charlie Chaplin? Toothbrush mustache. As a child, I was a mustache connoisseur and a Charlie Chaplin fan. Yes, the toothbrush mustache. But he's trying to take it back. Us Germans can't be held back by our history. Us Germans have to take back the toothbrush mustache.
Effect on women. I thought they were about to start throwing their panties at me.
MAGA podcasters and far-right lunatics Nick Fuentes and Alex Jones just instantly found out after YouTube thwarted their attempted comebacks to the site. And as if their past and ongoing consequences weren't justification enough to do this instantly, just wait till you see the BS they were on today.
Ladies and gentlemen.
And I liked this video. It was pretty good. The channel is really American. The host is Kenny Hess. I don't know anything about them, but this video is good.
It is Thursday, September 25th, 2025. Now, obviously, everybody watching is only thinking about my mustache right now.
And hey, if you appreciate free, non-hate speech on the internet, be sure to smash that like button and subscribe. Now, we'll get to Alex Jones's Hitler mustache purportedly having a wild effect on women in just a second, because it ties in nicely to Donald Trump getting compared to Hitler at the UN by Colombia's president. But let's quickly break down the YouTube situation here first. Nick Fuentes, the far-right figure most feared by MAGA, was reinstated on YouTube after years of censorship, but less than a day later, he was gone. Fuentes, the 27-year-old white nationalist live streamer, launched a new YouTube channel yesterday, shortly after YouTube announced that it would begin allowing previously banned accounts to appeal for reinstatement.
Oh wait, he finally went live. Let's see.
Hello. Greetings and salutations.
Oh no, we do the same intro. We do the same hello thing. Oh no, I might need to change up my intro.
I am...
Denny's patrons. He's trying to steal Denny's now? I guess they just actually eat at Denny's a lot. He looks like the type of guy that would eat at Denny's. Why doesn't he go and like... Like, I know sometimes I'm pretty greasy, I won't lie. But like, he couldn't... Like, you have a really nice camera. My camera at least hides some of it. You could run a wet cloth across your face and it would do you so much justice, bro. Run a comb through your hair. Is your hair wet or not wet? And hasn't been wet for a few days. I genuinely can't tell.
Dave,
Oh, he's listening to Sprints. Can't listen. But there he was, the man himself, the light bulb himself.
And that stems from the platform's move to roll back Biden-era speech policies on vaccines and political misinformation that was hailed by Republicans as a win for free expression.
See, I got the hello thing from, I just started saying things in triples because of cool, because of Abed from Community. That's genuinely why I started doing it. Cool. I say that in response to people all the time, and sometimes I have to catch myself, and I'm like, no, I shouldn't say that all the time. Because I'm sure a lot of other people say it too. I should start going, radical! Whoa, epic! That's what I should start saying. But sorry, back to the Nazi Nick Fuentes. And again, anybody that tries to say, Nick isn't... Why are you calling Nick a Nazi? It's just dumb to me. Let him go be on Cozy TV or whatever the fuck his old platform was. That bullshit where you can get like two watchers at a time, because it's all the people that were also banned on Instagram and Reddit and TikTok and all the other stuff. Oh wait, why do I have this open? Close this. Sorry, closing a couple windows. There we go. Working on the optimization.
But it wasn't long before the platform began attracting once fringe figures like Fuentes, whose original channel, America First with Nicholas J. Fuentes, was banned in 2021 for repeat violations of the...
Sorry, I was reading a chat. I'm not even gonna read what you said, what you wrote, Internet Tough Guy. I'm gonna read what you wrote before. Anissa bathed him, guys, and we know she can't take care of anything. Okay. You just forgot the word care in there? Nice. They've clearly never seen his cookie rhetoric. It's just so blatant. Anybody that tries to tell me... Sorry, I completely got sidetracked. Anybody that says that Nick Fuentes isn't a Nazi, he literally said, well, I think Trump is, doing so poorly that he is setting the stage for a true Hitler-level leader to rise up. And he's saying that's what we need. Dude's insane. Dude is actually a fucking lunatic. They've clearly never seen his cookie rhetoric. I mean, the cookies thing is also dumb. Didn't someone completely disprove his cookies argument? Because, like, even in the analogy he gives, it's stupid. Because his numbers are wrong, for one. But then also the analogy itself is just stupid and wrong.
Platform's hate speech policy. So YouTube...
It's like he uses wrong numbers, but then the numbers he used were also not even correct. I'll look to see if I can find the post.
Removed Fuentes' channel along with Alex Jones just hours after they'd been reinstated. In a statement, YouTube said, "We've seen some previously terminated creators try to start new channels. To clarify, our pilot program on terminations is not yet open. It's still against our community guidelines for previously terminated users to use, possess, or create other channels, and will terminate new channels from previously terminated users in accordance with these guidelines." sidelines. We'll have more to share on the limited pilot program soon. Personally, I am very glad YouTube acted so swiftly.
I'm not gonna look for this I swear, anytime you try and look for something with Nick Fuentes, it's just not even worth looking up his fucking name. It's not worth spreading the shit, because legitimately, anytime you look it up, it's just people trying to like sweep for him and be like, actually, he said the cookies thing was a joke. Oh, he on somebody else's stream that has a bigger audience than him lied and said that he didn't believe in the statements he was making about the Holocaust in his historical revisionism. Oh, it was all a joke when he has when it's opportunistic and like, you know, the opportunity presents itself to be able to gain a new audience. Oh yeah, it's just a joke. You guys, oh, sorry you were too woke for me. Like, bro, what? No, yeah. Yeah, the cookie rhetoric, he was using baking so many cookies with so many ovens as an analogy of Jews being sent to the ovens, being sent to the gas chambers. Damn, saying the ovens is kind of crazy too. And the number of people killed in the Holocaust. But the numbers he used were wrong because I think he was conflating together all of the deaths when not everybody was killed through gas chambers. There were a lot that died through starvation, a lot that were literally just mass executed through firing squads. There was a lot of different ways that they killed people, and I forget what the actual number was, but it was like they could do like thousands in like a very short period of time. I don't want to. I remember it was in the thousands in a short span of time. I don't remember the exact numbers, but I do remember those two variables of sorts. And yeah, it's the dumbest analogy, but for those two reasons.
To keep these neo-Nazis and Sandy Hook deniers off of the platform, but given the current right-wing cancel culture and the media landscape we find ourselves in, I wouldn't be shocked if YouTube actually considered letting these people back. And that would be extremely shocking, especially...
I mean, it would be extremely shocking purely because it's like, what is the actual gain other than bringing more Nazis onto the site? I could maybe see it happening if they apologized in the past. It was just a joke. I never meant those things. Nazis are bad. If Nick did a Nazis are bad tour, maybe we'd forgive him. No, I'm just kidding. I still wouldn't. But you get what I'm saying. If maybe he had changed his rhetoric in the time, but he's only becoming more staunch in it. So yeah, Alex Jones sports Hitler mustache in shocking broadcast. It has a wild effect on women.
Given what Alex Jones did on his show today, take a look at this.
Now, obviously, everybody watching is only thinking about my mustache right now. You are not thinking about all the incredible earth-shaking news I'm about to cover. And that's because as a species, or really any species, we go off the way things look, the colorations of things. What's on a butterfly? What's on a snake? The patterns out there. That's what we have. And so after World War II, for the last 80 years, everything has been a paradigm of, is it Hitlerian or is it Captain America? And the left in Europe and the United States and the UK and Australia, New Zealand, they've continued on the psychology of World War II. They then say that white men are Hitler. Christianity is Hitler. Hillary said a few days ago, we have these evil white men that are Christians, and they're the problem with the world. And of course, she's called Trump Hitler, so have all the other Democrats over and over again. That's the bottom line. And so that's why I'm doing this social experiment, I think for just a few days. But I don't know. I went to a gas station.
It's a good way to hedge your bets. I'm going to do the social experiment probably for a few days. We'll see how I like it. I don't know for sure.
I went in a grocery store this morning, and it was spectacular. Being a white guy that has German features, classical German features, and with a Hitler mustache, and it was very interesting.
You know, it's honestly, I think I can speak on this from the experience of having a shocking appearance when walking into establishments currently. And so it's just a social experiment. It's just a prank, bro. Did he have to wear the tan jacket too? Yeah, it's definitely not a good look all mixing together as he is tomato red. But when I walk into establishments and don this haircut, don this look, it definitely pulls in an audience. People definitely start looking. They start staring quite a bit. So I understand the allure of not even the approval of others, but just the shock and awe of others. But there's a certain point when you start fitting certain labels. You know, you were quacking like a duck and now you're looking like a duck. Again, I would never say that he has spread Nazi propaganda, but he's definitely spread extremism. Crazy stuff.
I could tell you it had a wild effect on women. I thought they were about to start throwing their panties at me. And they didn't know why. They were looking at me because most modern women, even young ones, don't really even know what Hitler is. But they the back of their head, they know what it is. So they got a guy with kind of Lex Luthor meets Adolf Hitler looks, blue eyes, and they just didn't know what to do.
What the fuck did he mean by German features? Being a white guy with like a circular head, I guess. If I had to make a European guess of where his heritage would be from this frame, I'd guess a Frenchman, but maybe a German. The redness speaks to maybe more Scandinavian, but I guess Germanic might fit into that as well.
They're like melting. So I don't know. Maybe I should, for a while, just as a social experiment, keep the mustache. What's everybody think?
Yeah, that's Alex Jones, the guy who denied the Sandy Hook shooting, got sued to oblivion for it, explaining how women allegedly melted over his Hitler mustache at a gas station. And I'll put the full clip of this insane rant at the end of this video if you actually want to lose some brain cells. But he also opened it with a montage of Hitler in the background of him and Nazi Germany. And before we move on to Trump getting called Hitler at the UN, just listen to how he admitted and explained that this stash social experiment came about in the first place.
So I cut the beard off. I'm gonna go with a mustache. And again, I was gonna go hike with my workout partner, Sean Johnson. He saw it, started laughing. He said, he couldn't quit laughing. And I go, what? And he goes, dude, you look like a pedo. It's
That's a great response to hear from a buddy, and that's why you kept it? You thought that was the moment I knew I should keep it. Hitler wasn't even German, he was Austrian. I had to look it up. Austrians are Germanic peoples. And I think that a lot of people, especially in America for some reason, and I imagine there are definitely, the European extremists as well, the ultra-nationalists and stuff. But people that are white, like to draw upon their heritage as whatever version of white, whatever flavor of white they are. So the German people love to be like, oh, I'm super German, bratwurst. Oh, I'm Italian, we love pasta. They do all that stuff. And it becomes ironic for Americans because it's I imagine it's ironic for Europeans, but it's ironic because you know, the Europeans will not see an American German or an American Italian or an American Irish or an American, like, any of these people as part of their culture. They have an American German culture or whatever. He's white.
It's ridiculous. He goes, you got to cut that off. He goes, here, let's call my fiance up and see what she thinks. So he FaceTimes her. She goes, yeah, you lose it. And I said, all right, well, we were going to hike around my house today. There's a big green belt there. I said, let me go in the bathroom. He goes, wait, don't. Go Hitler. At least let me see it. It'd be a great stunt as a joke. I started thinking, I was like, yeah, like a social experiment. Maybe just do it for a few days. And I go trim it, walk back out of the bathroom. He goes, damn, no, we got to take this stash back called the Jones now. This is a good looking mustache. He goes, you ought to keep that. So that's how this happens. I may keep this for 6 months, actually, because I'm already the devil. I'm already Satan. I'm already all these things I never did. And also, I've never supported Hitler. And I oppose all forms of totalitarian systems. I don't think Hitler is the worst totalitarian in history, but he's right up there in the top 3 or 4.
I thought that was a weird comment to make. Hitler was probably the worst. I mean, I get it depends on like what are we power scaling? Are we power scaling them? Because like Stalin killed a lot. He killed a lot of people, but his was more of like insanity, just being like fucking you. It wasn't as like strategically placed. But then you also have like is Pol Pot Cambodia? Yeah, Pol Pot in Cambodia was like crazy, vicious. So I don't know. It's just a weird comment to make because it's like I don't think we need to like do power scaling like this is an anime. They're all pretty evil.
Chip actually made a video covering all of Donald Trump's baffling speech at the UN the other day, so definitely go check that out. But
nothing pisses me off more than American people saying they're Irish when the last time anyone in their heritage stepped foot in Ireland was 200 years ago. People can't be proud of where their ancestors come from. No, they can't. Well, there's a difference there's a difference in being proud of being proud of your heritage and claiming like identity because of your heritage. Like you should identify somewhat with the place that you like were raised, even as like in a multicultural household. I think a lot of people that are born first generation or even like second generation, third generation and stuff will say that they have like a mixed, it's that mixed pot where you're not just because it's like code switching. You got to fit in with the in group sometimes. That doesn't mean with everything, but I've said this before and I'll say it again 1,000 times. It's easier to check yourself than to check other people. So if I need to slightly change my demeanor, change the way I'm talking every once in a while, it is a little bit easier than trying to correct other people. Mao Zedong, Genghis Khan, Stalin, Hitler are top 4 according to ChatGPT. Yeah, Mao Zedong, I guess I wouldn't consider Genghis Khan in the same branch just because like of the styling of the conquest. But Mao was definitely I think Mao had like the most people die, but it was mostly through like starvation and stuff because of like the restrictions that he had set on the people. In Portugal, no one talks about heritages. I only hear that online from Americans. True. I don't know. I think it probably depends like where you are, where you're from, what communities you're involved in. they probably all speak about it. Like, everybody probably speaks about it a little bit differently.
But here is just a part of the blistering attack against Trump that Colombia's president, Gustavo Petro, embarked on that reportedly made some members of the U.S. delegation walk out of the assembly hall.
They said that the missiles in the Caribbean were used to stop drug trafficking. That is a lie. Was it really necessary on unarmed, poor young people in the Caribbean? The anti-drug policy is not meant...
Ah, balls chat. Welcome to Quasar's Cadets.
and to stop cocaine that is coming to the United States.
Hit him with the balls.
The anti-drug policy is to dominate the peoples of the South as a whole. This forum is a mute witness to a side in a world where we thought that this was something only a legacy of Hitler. And so they led this anti-drug policy from Washington. I don't know if Trump even knows that his foreign policy towards Colombia, Venezuela, and towards the Caribbean is based on advice from Colombians who are allies of the cocaine mafia. I myself denounced these politicians, including the paramilitaries, drug traffic.
America's culture is a lot more focused on race and heritage because it was made from slavery and expropriation of land from natives. That's my view on it anyways. I mean, that's definitely a part of it that plays a factor, but I mean, look at across European countries at how many are having like issues, and I don't mean issues necessarily just in immigration, but issues with this like ultra nationalistic sentiment against immigrants, because people think that it destroys their culture, it destroys the idea, and that's part of like you know what I mean, like you're especially in because like they say the United States is the melting pot or whatever. There's so many different cultures that I understand why people get so hung up on it here, and I can understand why it doesn't seem as commonplace of a topic in places where it's more Portugal isn't a good example, where there's a less diverse, it's not even less diverse, just because I don't even mean like a less diverse population, I just mean because like I'm saying, the country itself is built on this like, at least like somewhat culturally is built on that like melting pot principle, regardless of if someone thinks that it should just be the white melting pot or if it should be like a full cultural melting pot. Because some people would say like, well, yeah, of course we want the Germans and the Irish and the British together. We're all gonna get along, duh. Like that is some people's perspective, which is dumb too. I'm like a third Irish, probably more Irish than a lot of people who claim to be in America, but I don't weaponize that in argument or whatever. Ryan is now internet tough guy because I can't type out a whole last name. In my opinion, I feel like a reaction to Black Americans trying to reclaim their ancestry, and all the white Americans felt left out because we want to be oppressed so bad. Well, I actually have like a pretty interesting, it's not that interesting, honestly, it's pretty surface level, but I think it's interesting perspective on white culture in America, because I think that what happened is there is white American culture, and then yes, there's Black American culture. And that is what people call like African American culture, the ancestors, or the people whose ancestors were slaves. And the idea is that Black people have this culture in America, and part of it has to do with their race and this like identifying factor. Whereas white Americans can only identify really with American culture. They should not identify with some kind of whiteness in American culture, because if you're going to identify with any type of whiteness in general, it should be with your historical, your great grandpa who was from Germany, or your great grandfather who was, or great grandmother who was from Ireland or something. That would make more sense to associate with that. But then I think that's what happens, is they want to pick and choose the little bits and pieces of things because of this like view of like white America versus black America, and on like a surface level. I agree there's racism and ultranationalists here too, but I think it's a recent thing. Here our parliament didn't have one seat of far right and like 10 years ago. Now we have 50 motherfuckers, and the head of the party is a Trump wannabe. I agree with Evie. I feel it was imported from America. Hey, America does it better. We change the world to be like us. Yeah, I guess that's what I mean. Yeah, places that, when I was talking about it before, like places that have historically had less immigration. And that's probably why they're seeing more of an uprise in like the hatred now because of that. I think America is losing the plot on a lot of stuff. Yeah, definitely. It's also hard to keep up with. Yeah, we've been lost. I think people are just embarrassed to be American at this point, which is valid. I feel that at this moment. It is just weird too, though, because it's like I'm saying, though, it's like it isn't like some German American or Irish American or whatever saying that they think they love their heritage and they love America. It's them saying that they think that America should change its current like values and systems to fit their belief system. The Brits are still coping. We won in 1776. It happened. I think people are just embarrassed. Sorry, I already read that one.
And naming them by their names in the Congress of Columbia when I was senator, and many times they wanted to kill me because of that. With apologies to those who dominate the United Nations, there should be criminal cases against those officials of the United States for doing this, including the utmost official, President Trump, that allowed the shooting of missiles against these young people who were simply trying to escape poverty. Only they can stop this domination by the United States. The people who have taken to the streets in California, in New York, in Philadelphia, where the Liberty Bell stands, in spite of the National Guard that Trump sends out against its own people to shut them up, to the states that are free. These states are no longer uniting their efforts in the face of tyranny. The President of the United States does not know that 1 million Latin Americans have died, the largest share of them from Colombia. And another 1 million will die in North America in 10 years because of fentanyl. That is the outcome of 30 years by the United States of a policy that is absurd and that is leading its society to the horrific death due to drugs that kill the brain. And in this situation, Trump not only allows missiles to be fired at young people in the...
Yeah, I ain't embarrassed to be an American. I'm proud to be an American, or at least I know I'm free. And all of the lyrics seem ironic when you sing them slow enough.
Caribbean does not only imprison migrants, but also...
See, that's the thing, is I can be proud to be an American and think that there's a lot of things that need to change. And that's the beauty of being proud of your country, is you need to have pride in what your country should become and the values, because you should be proud of what it's created in yourself and hope that you can reflect back on the country.
Allows missiles to be killed against children, women, and old people in Gaza. He is
I'm telling you, my school, I'm going to do it all for you right now, because the indoctrination that we get into America, in America is kind of crazy. In the beginning of every day at school, we did the Pledge of Allegiance. I'm sure a lot of people know I pledge allegiance to the flag of the United States of America in order to form a more perfect union, and so on and so forth. But the one not many people know that my school did when I was a young kid was the preamble to the Constitution. The preamble to the Constitution, I still remember it to this day. Let's see if I can do it. Off the top. Off rip. We the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. I skipped a part, but then it ends with do ordain to establish this Constitution for the United States of America. I skipped a part in the middle. I know I did. But honestly, if you think about the words in that sentence, I can stand by that a little bit. We, the people of the United States, in order to form a more perfect union, establish justice, ensure domestic tranquility, provide for the common defense, promote the general welfare, and secure the blessings of liberty for ourselves and our posterity. Do ordain and establish this Constitution for the United States of America. I swear I'm skipping a part in the middle, but... Yeah, I don't know how I can't remember important things, but I can remember these things. It's because we learned them young. They should have been teaching us other stuff at a young age and then taught us the preamble later on.
Accomplice to decide in a world where we thought that this was something only a legacy of Hitler.
And that is only a small snippet of the very lengthy speech he gave railing against the...
It's just hard to hear that and know that they own slaves at the same time. It's a very, very complicated... Well, because if you look at the founders of America and like the... people say, oh, well, these people were bad, these people... They genuinely all did have different thoughts on it. Like, some people thought it was, like, the right of, you know, the people to do it. Some thought it was bad, but nobody thought it was bad enough to stop it. And I think that is kind of the fair point that we can all stand on, right? Is regardless of how bad they might have found it, none of them thought it was bad enough to go, hey, maybe we shouldn't own other people. Like Thomas Jefferson, people talk about Thomas Jefferson, you know, you have to know they're all disgusting, evil slave owners. But then you think about like the scaling of like George Washington let his slaves free when he died. Thomas Jefferson only freed the slaves that were his children. And I don't even think he freed all of them, didn't he? It was something like that. Yeah, boy in a band. How you gonna teach me the Constitution, but not how to do my taxes? I remember that song. Thought he was cooking. We have quite heavy conversations here, Captain. Sorry, it's cool. My school is way more committed to praying than to the flag or the nation. Is that better or worse? I don't know. It's kind of an interesting trade-off if you really think about it. But that is that. Anyone else remember Johnny Appleseed? Why is he popping up in my head? What did Johnny Appleseed do? What, he just went and planted some apple trees? I've never seen this depiction of Johnny Appleseed as an old man. John Chapman, better known as Johnny Appleseed, was an American pioneer nurseryman who introduced trees grown with apple seeds as opposed to trees grown with grafting. As large parts of Pennsylvania... He was a real person, too? Oh, I did not know that. The Johnny Appleseed. Is it actually Johnny Appleseed Day? Everybody go eat an apple. September 26th, Johnny Appleseed Day. But now we will move on to the legal documents. I'm trying to find, there was this. Someone had posted this, and I'm trying to find this actual document, and I'm kind of confused. Because someone had posted this on the Reddit. These motherfuckers have now claimed in a legal document that the skulls were a hoax. Shows the skulls arriving in box clearly branded from skullsunlimited.com. Ethan's story that he believed the box contained computer parts and that the FBI investigated but advised him to keep the skulls is contradictory and casts further doubt on the legitimacy of his claims. Furthermore, his producer claims he contacted the company and returned the items, deepening suspicions that this was a staged event. This is all kind of funny too because this is all a lie. I mean, it's not fully a lie, sorry. It's not all a lie, it's deceptive. And also lying through omission. Because, yeah, it was clearly branded from Skulls Unlimited. Skull Candy headphones are a Skull Candy are a headphone company. Skulls Unlimited, nobody thinks you're going to see that and go, oh, I got this big package on my front door? Oh, yeah. It's just so dumb. But then also, Ethan's story said that he believed to be computer. Furthermore, the producer claims he contacted the company and returned the items. They contacted him and wanted them returned. They asked for them back because there were no payments that were actually made for them. They requested them back. So again, this is like partially lying, but I found the a few of the pieces. I think this was the big one. Oh yeah, see, this is one that I'm definitely not gonna be able to go through the whole thing. Was it in this one? Maybe it was in this one and it just didn't. I get the feeling that it was in this one and this document's too long to actually be able to search in it. Because this one says it's 600 pages. 548 pages. Jeez. Sorry, I have it pulled up on the other side for a second. I'm just looking at it. I'm going to pull it up, but why is it this long? No wonder it took him a minute. Oh, it's a lot of exhibits. That's why. A lot of the exhibits are baked in. Okay, that makes it a little more complicated, but... It's so wild, their defense is, he's lying because this forum said so. Yeah, if I randomly saw a box on my company marked Skulls Unlimited, I would never assume it's actual skulls. Better up your game, Dark Viper. No, yeah. Yeah, no, he just dropped that 90 pages, and this one just had to come out to one-up him even more. I am an attorney admitted to... I do hereby declare... I am an attorney admitted to practice law in the state of California, and before this court I am associated by the law firm, yada, yada, yada. You know, they're breaking it down. Ooh, they start the exhibit so early. A true and correct copy of the complaint in the action. A PDF... Sorry, it scrolled back to the top. Oh, wait. Oh, okay, that's what it is. So we have the mega threads and stuff included. Ugh, this is why it's going to be so hard. It worked for a second when I first did a search, but now it's not working at all. Why does this have to be so difficult? It looks like they are trying to break it down piece by piece. After the section where Ethan critiques Hassan's coverage of the husband, Denham claims that YouTube does not require censoring such footage and implies Ethan is doing so to intentionally obfuscate the facts. She also makes the outlandish claim that Hamas treats the Israeli hostages well. All of this is false and due to... Wait, so is this just the... Wait, now I'm super confused. Oh, is this just a reproduction of the original thing? Sorry, I have a bunch of things pulled off to the side, but that is what this is. Okay. So this is them saying that's Exhibit 1. Exhibit 1 is literally, that's why this is so long, is because Exhibit 1 is quite literally just the first page. Let me pull up this other thing first then. This other one will be more useful. Sorry. Sorry, my bad. I'm not a good law tuber, guys. I'm going to be having a very busy night after work tonight. I pick up my U-Haul tomorrow. Good on you. Good on you, H. Here, this one's still over 100 pages, 158 pages, but I think this one did have skulls in it. Skulls. He consistently blames the Snarkers and the Snark subreddit for this claim, as well as for packages containing human skulls he alleges were sent to his home. Relevant screenshots from Kiwi Farms, they're going to link Kiwi Farms, with corresponding URLs are included below. Again, and I will say, I came down on the crew for source Kiwi Farms as well. Kiwi Farms is not a source. If anything, Kiwi Farms should be your step 1 to finding the other source, if you want to use it at all, but I wouldn't even recommend using it. Additionally, at the Times, he claims they were made evidence strongly suggests these human skull packages were a hoax, likely sent by Ethan and Hila themselves. Images shared publicly, including those by journalist Taylor Lorenz, show the skulls arriving in a box clearly branded from SkullsUnlimited.com. Ethan's story that he believed the box contained computer parts and that the FBI investigated but advised him to keep the skulls is contradictory and casts further doubt on the legitimacy of his claims. Furthermore, his producer claims he contacted the company and returned... Oh, here's where the thing is. Yeah, here's where the full statement is. Okay, I found where the statement was. Good. Furthermore, here's a continuation of what that section said. Justifying deepening suspicion that this was a stage event designed as a media hoax to fuel a lawsuit against us, justify arrest, or incite harassment by his supporters, as seen in discussion thread across Kiwi Farms and other forums, as shown in 3 screenshots below. Also shown in a screenshot of tweet by journalist Taylor Lorenz showing the skull's original packaging. Ethan is starting to win me over. If a few piece of shit Reddit T-slur mods get exposed, I will cheer Ethan's name. I will subscribe if he's... Wait, what? So 2 wrongs. So they're saying because these people on they're perusing Kiwi Farms, see someone agreeing with Ethan in some regard and are like, see? And this is literally them being transphobic and clearly against Ethan, but they're using this as some kind of own, like, see? Like, I really don't understand what this was put in for. If they send it to themselves, why do they wait so long to say it publicly? Well, that's the whole thing, is all of the theories about why they would send it to themselves all fall flat on their face, because if they sent it themselves to expose, like, to try and get people arrested, why did they wait so long? If they did it because of the merch collab, why did they end up sending them back in the end anyways? Like, you know what I mean? Like, there is a few things where it's like, you would think like maybe they would have kept them, because honestly, realistically speaking, the skulls weren't the scary part. Like, the skulls, that's crazy. It's an insane thing to see. And I'm sure to some people it's very off-putting. It can put a feeling in your chest and your stomach. But, like, It's the implication of the skulls is the more terrifying thing. So I don't know. I just feel like it all kind of they're theorizing based on like these weird statements. I don't understand the whole "they sent it to themselves" thing. It is just crazy. It really doesn't make any sense because all that it's overlapping theories that contradict themselves. Like that's the whole thing. They simultaneously think Ethan is so manipulative and calculated, yet the man needs a $20,000 button because he's too impulsive with his jokes. It also seems stupid to me for this reason, right? He bought them for himself to try and expose people. He shows a blurred image on a video, then decides like a dumbass for no reason to show the unblurred image that has the tag exposed, that then unleashed people to find that it was from Skulls Unlimited. He could have left that all in the blind, nobody would have ever found out. It could have been a perfect scheme and no one would have ever known that it was Skulls Unlimited had he not posted on Instagram. He's so like manipulative and thought through and does all these crazy little like tiny little things to flip the script, but then blows it by posting an Instagram story of AB holding the tag out so you can see it clearly. Like it's the dumbest. It's literally the dumbest. Idubbbz really hates the button. Idubbbz really hates the button that's underneath the desk because he can't tell if it's real or not. I can imagine opening that parcel would have been very traumatic. Yeah, I think it really does depend on the person. AB did it. I think AB's got the heart for it. He's a strong-willed individual. No, but realistically, the fact that it could be traumatizing at all is the whole reason that it's so malicious. Because regardless of what their reaction, and regardless of what my perception of what their reaction should be, could be, would be, like there is always the possibility of inciting a deep like fear in them. And that does seem to be the implication. So I don't see why that would be like I don't know why that's such like a far bridge to gap. These people should have used their skulls to publish fictional novels. At least they could have made money. They should have just been making H3 fanfics. I almost couldn't remember the term fanfictions. Making H3 fanfics with Idubbbz and Ethan getting it on. They should have just done that. That would have let out all their frustrations. Two wrongs make a right situation. This is a fuck with a man by falsely calling CPS on him and you get what you fucking deserve situation. So that is someone siding with Ethan because people called CPS on him. Again, these people on Kiwi Farms, I have never commented on there. I've never pulled information from there. I've never used it truthfully. But I have looked at it to see what is on there, and it is odd to see the morals, the way like the skewing morals that these people have, because it's like they'll think certain things are wrong, but then like start being racist like 2 lines down. Like it's crazy. Like the Kiwi Farms users really are just degenerates in the purest form. Internet tough guy would look like a coward, would look like a quivering vagina on the Kiwi Farms. Sorry, I had to censor myself a little bit. I'm not allowed to talk about Ian like that. I want to see Ian, like Ethan was saying. I want to see Idubbbz dildo strap on his forehead hitting Ethan like that. That's the story that needs to be told. That's the fan fiction we need to read. Don't call CPS on someone's house because they're a Jew and you should be good. That's really what this person put. And I can't even tell if that's necessarily in favor of Ethan or if they're just calling him a Jew to be disrespectful. Well, you know, this is what happens. I suspect the Snarkers are trying to somehow convince the crew that the button is bad for the show so they get rid of it. It's just stupid. I mean, they might be able to, like, I don't think they could convince anyone on the crew, but even if they could get past, like, everybody, there's no way in hell, on the coldest day in hell, that Dan would ever get rid of the button. He knows what it saves them from. He understands its utility. But yeah, I love that their sources are Kiwi Farms and Taylor Lorenz tweets. This is kind of amazing. As annoying as it is when Ethan Klein blatantly lies about me, I've seen people saying that he also lied about receiving skulls. I want to debunk this because he did in fact receive skulls. They shared photos of the packages they received with me when I was attempting to help them. Are these standing up on paper towel rolls? Is that what this is right here? Dan doesn't want to lose his job. So true. He knows that if they get rid of that button, the job's going soon. The show itself is going bye-bye soon after. Losing all their ads, losing everything. Plus, they don't give out PII accidentally on their live show. The button isn't going anywhere. No, yeah, exactly. Personally, I was trying to figure out what PII stands for. Personally identifying information. No, I think that is like the biggest reason that they'll never get rid of the button is because regardless of if like crass jokes here and there, they've been using it seemingly a little bit less. Ethan has been saying some stuff like when I heard the suction cup strap-on dildo part, I was like, that's a buttonable moment. That was something that I could have totally seen somebody hitting the button. I genuinely think they were so confused with what he was saying, they didn't have the time. They made him explain it like 2 or 3 times because they were like, what are you talking about? Pretty great. A threat of confidentiality breach and an inability to pursue justice. If Ethan and Hila were to somehow discover my identity, I am certain they would not keep it confidential. Ethan would likely share it with prolific doxers who led large communities and serial harassers. Well, I mean, to be fair, legal documents are public. That's how I'm reading this right now. Your name being out there has I don't think Ethan would get it. I think it would just be out there purely because you were going after someone with a large audience. So obviously that information will, I'm trying my best not to show any type of information about people. But I don't know. Like, this is kind of I'm afraid of getting doxxed. You have to let me commit crimes. Like, I understand the claim if it was an unfounded lawsuit, but I'm sorry, I just don't care. Yeah, I'm surprised they have hardly been hitting the button lately. I feel like they realized they were hitting it a bit much, because if you're having multiple times a show, that especially isn't going to work. I think that generally what it needs to be is it can't be bad jokes. It has to be something that is crass, over the line, or unintentionally bigoted. That's also a possibility we have to be aware of. Maybe they agree that the bad jokes are better than Snarkers trying to allude to Ethan being toxic or ism-ist. That's true. I guess I hadn't thought about that part, but yeah, they're going to do it regardless, but they do it a lot where regardless of, it is a regardless, you're damned if you do, damned if you don't, because if you do have the button and you hit the button, they're just going to try and come up with the worst thing you could have said. If you don't say the button, or if you don't have the button, then they're just going to go after the actual statements that you make and turn it into something that it's not regardless. Abusing the legal system. Ethan and Ela are well aware of the mental toll a lawsuit takes, having been in a similar position themselves, and over the years have frequently expressed how tormenting the process for them was. I do want to say this too. This was kind of funny to me. God damn it. Yada 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 da 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 da. Sorry, I'm trying to pull up. I'm telling you, I have like 5 or 6 of these documents. This one is one of the longer ones. Like the ones between Denims and Casey Tron and Frogan, they're all a little bit shorter. This one, for some reason, is like extremely dense and full of a lot of information. The Snarker understanding of spoilation. Very true. Oh, here's what I wanted to show though, sorry. I can't find the exact moment, but the Doe's mega threads were fair use and Denim's was fair use. So they're claiming that there can be no contributory infringement without direct infringement. So since Denim's wasn't infringing, they were never infringing, even though this isn't just about the mega thread, which they're completely... I don't know if they I asked ChatGPT and it said that they were. I read through it and I was like, did they not bring this up at all? So I had to ask ChatGPT because I was like, I'm not about to read this through for a second time when I have all of these other ones to look at too. But I asked ChatGPT if it skipped the part, because this wasn't just about the mega threads. Maybe it was included in the mega threads, but the links weren't just to Denims and Frogan and Caseytron. They were to re-uploads of content on a mirror site that was used to maliciously siphon views away from the channel. That's quite literally what it's for. And again, it's also not just linking, it is whole re-uploads on Reddit, which are how they did their DMCAs and stuff. But I do think that it's interesting that they try and lean in on the fact that it's just a mega thread. All they're doing is spreading commentary. It's just criticism and commentary and transform the works. The mega threads do not transform the works. Mega threads are merely a sourcing of said works. You could not say that an article can maybe use a clip or like a piece of a video or it can link, but having a full embedded like re-upload that you're able to siphon monetary gain from would be not fair use. It would not be fair use. I do have the URL to a certain photo. I won't pull it up though. I never deleted that, even after talking about it. Why would I delete it? But Denims was fair use, apparently. I guess they might try and go through reasons as to why they think Denims was fair use, but Denims provides an alternative viewpoint, new content, and a new message. In contrast, a reaction video that merely repeats and supports a work without adding a new message, like XQC's stream, would likely not be transformative. Again, it's a whataboutism that literally does not matter in court. You are not required to sue all of the parties that have wronged you. You are not required to sue all of the parties that have wronged you, even if you decide to sue an individual included. Like, it's just quite literally just a stupid point. Who cares? Yeah, XQC probably did too. Did I ever watch Price Master? I didn't watch the Price Master video, actually. I could pull that up for a second. That's actually a classic video. I'll pull that up if we're late, which is more than likely. Yeah, need to make sure I have both. There's the short version and the full version. Which one? I wasn't about to go through all my playlists trying to find which one it was. It is true that the degree of transformation required to make transformative use of an original must go beyond that to qualify as a derivative. But TEI would never transform its own work into the character and purpose that Denim's did, precisely because it is critical of TEI and H3. Again, it is not about the critical nature. Just if you, oh my god, if you literally made a re-upload, if you made a re-upload on a different channel and just made the title, "Isn't Ethan Klein such an idiot?" And then you have a live chat going on the side the whole time, and the live chat it's transformative because it's people discussing what's going on. You're not transforming any of the actual content itself. And again, it's about if the transformative nature, and again, transformation is only one of the prongs of fair use. Like there's different factors that weigh in to deciding if you were doing something maliciously or not. Like, or I guess the malicious part is one of the factors in deciding the lengths to which the parties acted. Sorry, brain's going by. Yeah, I don't think a live chat meets the bar. Exactly. Like it's like when people take a Simpsons episode, flip it over, pitch shift the audio a little bit. Yes, that is transforming, but again, that is quite literally what qualifies as a derivative. Sorry, one sec. My stomach and head hurt. So, if Doe's motion is not granted, so this is the motion to quash, if Doe's motion is not granted, Doe's request a protective order. A court may limit and specify conditions on production, including to protect a party from embarrassment, oppression, or undue burden. The Ninth Circuit allows parties to preserve their anonymity in the unusual case where non-disclosure of the party's identity is necessary to protect them from harassment, injury, ridicule, or personal embarrassment. The thing is, I really don't understand why this is even a thing in the first place, because couldn't anybody just request anonymity for this purpose? Anybody that is a wrong party could just be like, bro, I'm going to get harassed. I'm going to get ridiculed. I don't think you should be harassed or ridiculed in person or directly. But I think the indirect ridicule when you are... It's like you might not be a public figure. But if you defame a celebrity or something, it fucking sucks. But you have to deal with the consequences. Like, you know what I mean? Like, that's just an example. That's not saying that that's what this case is involved in, but you get what I'm saying. It's like, if you are the one that commits the crime, regardless of the power dynamics at play, like, maybe you should have thought about that before, committing these crimes. And again, this is all in my opinion. I am not a lawyer. I am not a law tuber. I am not the legal eagle. I am not legal mindset. I am not Bruce Rivers. Bruce Rivers, he's a criminal lawyer. Who is Bruce Rivers? He's a criminal lawyer. And what'd he do? Gonna react to all the self-snitching. But I do react to all the self-snitching. We continue over here, though. They're abusing the legal system. The unrelenting consequences of Ethan's actions, mental health, financial strain, and continued harassment. In many ways, I believe that Ethan has already won. I have not yet posted on Reddit or any social media since this begun. My fellow moderators and I plead with Reddit to delete the H3 Snark subreddit, but our requests were denied. Ethan has already cost me numerous amounts of time and money, as well as inflicted an unimaginable mental anguish and emotional torment. I know this will not end once this case is over. It is only the beginning. What? I'm so confused. How is this cost? You could literally just turn away. You don't have to deal with it anymore. I'm a little confused by this. Wait. Did they also, I'm confused, did they write this themselves? Sorry, I'm having to go back through it. I was scrolling to the top and then lost my spot. There we go. They said, please delete the snark for us, please. I know Ethan will take joy from reading this victim impact statement aloud on his podcast. Oh, that's what it was. It was a victim impact statement. I was confused. He will pause frequently to laugh, mock us, and claim we deserve this. Wait, we need Dan to do a legal Smeagol bit. Oh, that's amazing. I like that. The legal beagle. I was Charlie Brown, and he had a beagle named Snoopy. Go watch my interview with Alex the Fiction on his channel. He will pause frequently to laugh, mock us, and claim we deserve this, all while playing sound bites to entertain his audience. He has done this many times before, using the legal process and our suffering for his and his audience's amusement. When he initially sued us and others, he exploited the entire process for his own entertainment and to deepen our torment. When Denims and Caseytron filed their answers in their respective lawsuits, sorry, I knew I read that wrong. Ethan reads the answers aloud, mocking their attorneys for including only admissions, denials, and lack of knowledge to respond, i.e., what is typically included in an answer. Below is a photo of Ethan Klein burning money while narrating that his favorite pastime is spending hundreds of thousands of dollars on lawsuits and that this lawsuit will create generational wealth for his lawyers. It's so funny because Ethan put this part in knowing that it would be included in the lawsuit, and they think this is some kind of a dunk. No, yeah, it's like... Judge, he made fun of me. It's not okay.
Based?
Mom,
I want a vape.
I fear that Ethan will resort to illegal tactics after this. I have no reason to believe that Ethan and Hila will ever stop targeting us. What makes you believe that they will resort to illegal tactics? What is your... And what presumed illegal tactics are we talking about? I have no reason to believe that Ethan and Hila will ever stop targeting us. This harassment is relentless, and I do not believe it will ever truly end. Ethan is willing to do anything to destroy our lives, and has explicitly stated so on his podcast. Ethan owns a firearm and reportedly has a net worth exceeding $100 million. I sincerely believe that if he had the opportunity, Ethan would not hesitate to kill me. Wait, what? Wait, what? Wait, what? This is crazy. This whole ass thing was written by them. This is not how a lawyer would write. What part of response is it? I'm so confused by this. No, that's what I'm saying. I'm so confused by this. This is the unrelenting consequences of Ethan's actions, mental health. What section? This is literally this threat. I'm so confused. I'm so confused. I'm literally so confused. Wait, what? He would not hesitate to kill me. Bro, what? This is right before the summary and conclusion. What was the part before this? I guess I can... I'm confused. Are these just like impact statements? Is that what this is? Declaration of dough. Okay. Maybe that's what it is. It's declarations of dough, maybe? Defense. I'm so confused by this. Yeah, they're scared for their lives, but the skulls were nothing. They paid a fancy boutique law firm to write this? Yeah, that's what I'm confused about, because they did pay some law firm. But then why is it talking in the first person? Is it just an impact statement or something? Because it's like, why was it then giving evidence and certain claims that were being made about here, watch. F. Yes, kill me. Not me, but I'm saying in this, that was what I was willing to look up. That's what I was trying to find. Continued harassment, abusing the legal system, and then continued harassment. If Ethan and Eeler were to somehow discover my identity, this is all coming in first person. All of this is first person. They're talking about wanting to take down... What would happen if we were unmasked? The nuke. This lawsuit has always been about uncovering our identities. Ethan and Eeler's claims... Subreddit moderation and copyright policy. My role as an H3 Snark moderator. Okay, declaration of dough. Okay, that's what this one is. It is a declaration of dough. Okay. Whew. Okay. Their lawyer should have proofread this a little bit more, because this does not read very sane, I have to say. But that's what I was wondering, is this is just a declaration of dough. So this is just a declaration made by this individual. But this individual does believe that Ethan Klein, if given the opportunity, with their over $1 million, their net worth exceeding $100 million, would risk it all to kill this random dough online. LUS made a good point. LUS made a good point that they wouldn't have done all this if they had covered their tracks and believed that they wouldn't be compromised by the subpoena going through. I'm just confused by they're really throwing they're doing like a Hail Mary by trying to throw in all this evidence and stuff. It feels like the whole section is all of the declarations of the different Snarker mods. Is that what this is? That makes sense. Because I first skipped down to figure out where the skulls part was, so I guess they only talk about the skulls in their own declaration, and not actually in the actual, the lawyer probably talks a bit more professionally, it seems. Still using, or is that what this whole document is? Is that what you're saying? Is this whole document just a, oopsie. Yes, okay. My bad. This one was just the declaration of doughs. My bad. Thank you, Kokomov. I was clicking through these. Drop the lawsuits. Drop these. Come on, drop them. Thank you, Kokomov. But yes, this one is just the declaration of doughs. This one's honestly the interesting one to go through, though. With that "kill me" line, Ethan would not hesitate to kill me. Yeah. Does that imply then that they are all separate people? Because Ethan's claim, I guess his thought was that they could be separate, or they could all be like a few individuals using sock puppets and stuff. But how many does do we get on here? Declaration of Doe. Doe. What's the last one? This should be the last one, yeah. I know, they're just signed by Doe. Come on, I want to know which Doe number you are. Kokomov is the resident law expert. Lawyer, Kokomov, attorney at law. Here, I do want to read what some of their claims are, though. I am Doe defended in the lawsuit. Because that's what I was thinking, is like, I don't think I read that beginning part, but there were a few things that were making me think that this is just like, I keep saying impact statement, but that's not what this is. It is just the declaration of Doe. No, yeah, I was trying to understand through the different documents, and I think that now I've just had them all, since they all just look like this now, I can't tell which one is which when I'm clicking through them. Because the actual Quash, yeah, the actual Quash is this one. My bad. That was the one I pulled up a second ago. That's what I believe to be this one, right? Or no, that's this one. No, it's not. I'm telling you, I can't figure. There's too many pages. There's too many documents on this one specifically. This one I thought was interesting, though. They actually put down a table of contents so you can look through it. You can really break it down piece by piece. Don't forget the poll. Oh, I do have to throw up a poll. Do we have a title or thumbnail yet? Start the poll. I could believe Legal Smeagol wrote these. Start adding an hour option to the poll. After last time, we might have to. I think that was the first time, or actually we did hit over 30 minutes, huh? It was like 38, 30, it was almost 40 minutes, I think. Crazy stuff. Still no thumbnail, no title. Weed is all I have. Oh, there's Hitler Alex Jones again. And that's the subreddit I don't need to pull up. Surely it's 20 minutes today. Well, I guess we should decide then. Should I try and start reading through this one or read more of these Declaration of Does? Because I think the Declaration of Does are a lot funnier. But I could read actual stuff from the Quash itself. The Notice of Motion and Motion. Everybody hates a critic. They were trying to do a little punny intro to a little punny title heading. Everybody hates a critic. On its face, the action is about copyright infringement. At its heart, however, the action is about stifling criticism and seeking retribution by unmasking individuals for perceived reputational harms. TEI attributes it to Doe's, unrelated to TEI's intellectual property rights. It was back to the OG start time, LOL. No, that's what I'm saying. That's crazy. The declarations are the interesting bit since it's the Snark mod's words. Yeah, let's do that then. They are... Alex Jones, what? Yeah. Sorry, you might have missed that part earlier. We talked about Alex Jones donned a new mustache. And then I think he's already gotten rid of it, honestly. But, yeah, not a good look. He's like, we're taking it back. We're taking it back, boys. So here I am. I'm going to read it in my best Redditor voice. I, Doe, do hereby declare I am a Doe defendant in the lawsuit Ted Entertainment Inc. v. Saber Denims, pending in the United States District Court for the Central District of California. Case number 225, and am or was a moderator of the H3 Snark subreddit during the relevant time period, i.e. January 30 or 31st, 2025, the dates of the so-called inducement posts. Wow. So they're also not trying to take credit for anything else that's done there, but if they take credit for this, they will be able to pull the rest of their posts on the H3 Snark subreddit. So that would be part of Caseytron a few days ago, or was it Caseytron? Yes, Caseytron. Caseytron, I'm pretty sure a few days, because Denims already went into Discovery. I'm pretty sure Caseytron's just went into Discovery a few days ago, and then Frogan got the extension until October 3rd. Is that what it was? So we have a little bit of time to wait on that. My identifying information is being sought through plaintiff's subpoenas to Reddit and or Discord. Unless otherwise stated, I have personal knowledge of the facts set forth in this declaration, and if called to testify, could and would do so completely. Wait, so this person is willing to testify? They don't want to be a Doe anymore? Is that what they're saying? My identifying information is being sought by plaintiffs. Unless otherwise stated, I have personal knowledge of the facts set forth in this declaration, and if called to testify, could and would do so competently. Sorry, I didn't read that competently. But are they saying they're willing to testify that their identifying information is being sought? Or that they're willing to testify for the case in which it is being sought? I'm kind of mad I have therapy in 40 minutes. It's interrupting my podcast time. Don't worry, it'll be waiting for you. And then you'll have a sweet little treat for after. I had been aware of the H3 podcast for many years, but had never watched a video from them until June of 2023 when the H3 podcast covered the Colleen Ballinger saga. Of course it's a fucking Colleen Ballinger. Is it a Colleen Ballinger fan? No, wait. Colleen Ballinger is a YouTuber who faced a major backlash in 2023 after being accused of inappropriate relationships with fans. As I was following this situation closely, I decided to tune into H3's streams out of curiosity. Because I was a member of a similar subreddit, r/H3 Snark was recommended to me on Reddit. Do they just mean they were part of other Snark subreddits? Here, we'll all weed chat for you. This is almost done, but it's weed chat for you. There we go. Ready to continue. But they really are just saying they were on a... I used to watch him and he flipped so quick. I found Adam should have stuck with the drama slop. That's what everybody cares about. Nobody wants to see his actual opinions on anything. But I guess his drama slop started getting too far. That was also the issue. You're too sloppy. Too much drama and too much slop. Reel it in. But sorry. I have never been a fan of the H3 podcast or its content. I strongly believe that online spaces critical of creators and their content are important to free speech. I enjoyed the H3 Snark community let's really listen to that. I enjoyed the H3 Snark community as a very well-moderated subreddit, bruh, because discussions were focused, organized, and were free from harassment. I enjoyed, and by that they just mean they literally dogpile anybody that comes in with a dissenting opinion. Literally, if anybody commented anything on the H3 Snark, immediately, downvote bombed and comment bomb, reply bombed, crazy. I've seen it. As a very well-moderated subreddit, because discussions were focused, organized... I read that. I enjoyed joining the live chats and discussing the podcast with other members of r/H3 Snark because of its fun atmosphere and strong sense of community. As I became a frequent user and stayed aware of and respectful of the rules, I was eventually asked to join as a moderator for H3 Snark, with my role being limited to monitoring live chats and then eventually expanded to comments and posts. I just think it's wild he was in chat the week before. Olivia pointed it out saying hey to him, and the next week Ethan burned that bridge. LOL. I mean, it just shows that like some people are just opportunistic, really like willing to hop on like the first train out of town, you know what I mean? Doesn't matter how many friends they've made, how many like whatever. They're willing to hop on if they can see something on the horizon. I served as a volunteer subreddit moderator for H3 Snark, joining in late September, early October 2024. I was unpaid and joined as a hobby. I did not make posts as a moderator, nor did I have access to mod mail, as my role was to monitor the Reddit mod queue and mega threads. So you monitored the mega thread, okay. I was first welcomed to the moderator team to monitor the live chat and mega threads, and then eventually I monitored the queue for comments and posts that broke our subreddit's rules. The Reddit's site-wide rules, I helped ensure our subreddit was free of rule breaking such as harassment, doxing, copyright infringement, and other behavior that was not conducive to genuine discussion and criticism that H3 Snark was centered around. I just love this because it's like, this is just not true. You helped ensure, well, you did a shitty job. The polls are starting to fall into a regular pattern as people catch on that they're always hella late. No, yeah. It becomes less of a bell curve and more of just like a steady rise up to 30 minutes. We used to get a real nice bell curve out of it, where people would be like kind of in the middle. Like, I don't know. You gotta be hopeful. Imagine saying that you love to hate watch and shit talking a show you don't like. I mean, it really is just odd how, maybe it's because they know they're still just a doe, but they are talking about it so freely to be like, yeah, no, I really enjoy watching the show so I can shit on it. I really like watching it and talking shit and like, it's just so weird. Like, I've been saying this from the beginning, since I've started doing the H3 unofficial waiting rooms. Like what you like. Stop just liking what you hate. Stop enjoying hating things. It's not a good way to live, and it's not going to benefit you in any way. Love the things that you enjoy. Who cares what it is? I'm trying to get more into the just things. I want to talk to people about their weird interests, the random things that they get up to, because it's all so interesting. But instead, people want to just talk about all the things they hate. When H3, sorry, I've got to continue. Got to put the voice back on. If you love to hate watch, you love the show. I mean, that's basically the way I see it, right? It's like that means you enjoy it on some level, even if you're doing it in this like post-ironic fucking. You're literally being a a hipster viewer, an H3 hipster. I used to like it when it was cool. Oh yeah, I liked H3 before it was cool, but yeah, they haven't got with the times. When content Nuke Hassan Piker was uploaded, I was at my place of work. I watched the video from the source on the H3H3 Productions YouTube channel while discussing it with fellow moderators on Discord, as I was curious about the video's view gain after its initial release. I took screenshots to document the view count. These screenshots clearly show I watched the video from the source. Okay. Yo. Okay, they have notifications turned off. Do you think they turned off the notifications just to take these screenshots? Because how did they get in so quick? Unless they were following it on Instagram, were following it somewhere. And also, that also made no sense to me. This does sound like, so they were yeah, I guess they were just an Adam McIntyre fan. Seems to be what it was. The Colleen Bollinger saga got involved. Somehow just loved hating on the show so much after that. They got involved in the snark. Yeah, these screenshots are so meaningless. So what? Look, I watched it myself. Hello, strong Docator? Strong Docator? Is that how I'm supposed to say it? I do not know how to say your name. I watched it from its source. Yeah, that's literally not what the claim is. I feel like that's what they're trying to see. Like, see? I watched it from my source. From its source. Decipher, what phone do they have? Figure it out. I did not watch Denim's, Caseytron, Frogan, or any other creator's streams of their reaction to the video. I have never had contact with any of the streamers listed. I had been aware that they would be streaming their reaction to content Nuke Hassan Piker because members of the H3 Snark subreddit had made comments about their intent to react to the live video. I was not directly involved in the creation of the mega threads listed in the complaints, as my role as a moderator was to monitor posts, comments, and mega threads for violations. Mega threads. I was not directly involved in the creation of the mega thread. What, were you not aware of it at all, though? I don't understand. I don't understand why this is relevant. If you created it or not. I mean, you... Oh. There's clearly a reason. Anyone else just get that? Oh, never mind. Don't worry, it's not an Amber Alert, it's just a dust storm warning. The dust storm's coming. Yay! Listed in the complaints... I agree with my fellow moderators' decision to create the mega thread and include the streamers they did, as members of H3 Snark had requested the moderators to list streamers who would be reacting to the much anticipated video. Consolidating what could be hundreds of posts into a single mega thread is a very common and useful practice to ensure information stays in a single accessible thread for users to find. I do not believe the clients are justified in suing us for copyright infringement, as we had linked directly to the official source of content, Nuke Hassan Piker. Like we said, they also linked directly to a mirror site that had a re-upload. We saw it in the complaint when we originally read through the whole thing. This situation has already taken a serious toll on my mental health and physical health. Sleep has become uneasy, and I find myself waking up in the middle of the night with the fear that the clients and their audience have found out who I am. Activities that once brought me joy now fill me with dread. I can't even hate watch my favorite show. I no longer feel safe online. And I carry an ongoing fear that my loved ones may suffer because of my association with this case. Hey, again, I don't think that they should fear any type of actual harm coming to them. But you should fear some type of litigation for the way that you speak. Because there's rules to this shit, bro. And with the, sorry, I was hiccuping and like acid reflux. Oh my God, acid refluxing, I think. But it's not just the words that you share, it's the data that you're sharing online that, is sharing to other sites that are mirror uploads. I did think it was my phone because we had alerts letting everyone know the state know that 911 was, or is it 911? Sorry, 911 was down statewide. Yes, 911 being down is terrible. That's awful. Do these people not think about things coming back to bite them? I don't know if maybe, I guess I was just a self-aware kid, iDubbbz didn't gain empathy until he was 30. I cried at 4 years old while watching Gary come home, even though I had never owned a pet before in my life. And then I learned from a very young age that I'm not truly anonymous online. People can find me. They can find me. And I'm not going to let them do that. So I wasn't around typing on sites, doing shit, talking shit to people. It's unnecessary. I can have my own fun. It truly was. It's just, it baffles the mind to think that you can act in a way so like, I say it a lot and it sounds stupid because of the podcast now, but flagrantly. And you can act so flagrantly and still be confused that things are going to come back to you and be like, and I do think part of it's just them trying to put up a bit of a facade. I don't think they're truly as fearful as they're making it out to be. Oh, we got a title and thumbnail? Settling all our beefs, all once and for all. H3 show number 194. This is the one. This one looks good. I've been talking shit on the thumbnails for a while now. I have to say, this one looks pretty alright. This one doesn't look bad. And I want to make it clear that when I'm talking about AI usage, in thumbnails, I'm talking about this. Where was it? I think it was this one. Sorry, I have to do my little tricky trick. Max res. Down one. There we go. You can tell he was heavily... I feel like they AI'd his eyes to try and make him more cross-eyed when that's like the easiest thing you can do. And then they upscaled him a bit. And then Ethan is upscaled but also still low resolution. So it looks odd. What I used in my thumbnail yesterday, I'm just trying to pull them up. Oh my God, this is taking too long. In my thumbnail yesterday, I used AI. I did use AI. I have to call myself out. Sorry, I know this is taking me a second. In this thumbnail, I used Photoshop's new AI feature that can remove parts. I just used it for the removal of tattoos, and then I implemented these images myself. That's why they look so crappy. But I did this myself. Looks pretty good, right? Looks pretty crap. But I think that's part of the allure, right? Is you want this kind of slightly off-putting nature to your thumbnails. You don't want it to be so sleek and so nice. Oh, look, he said in like the same pose here. Look at this. Wow. I use AI for the backgrounds in my thumbnails. Alex, do you use Adobe? Because if you use Adobe, just get stock assets. They have a bunch of free stock images and they have like free Fire PNGs and stuff. I need to update with my new hair though. I know I need to take some new thumbnails, some new thumbnail images. Whenever I do it, I just take a video of me doing a bunch of soy jack faces, a bunch of like, and then I just take screenshots of all of those. I've gotten pretty good at the point too, and unblocked. Use that one for it. See, I'm too close right now. I gotta move the green screen back a little bit. Adobe sucks. That's what everybody says when they don't have Adobe. AI is not going back in the bottle. We need to figure out how to use it best ethically. There's no going back anymore. Here was my point. Here's my point that I've always used on AI, right? I realize I'm still a big boy right now. That's what I have it titled on my thing. Here's my point that I've always made about AI. AI isn't inherently bad. It is about the utilization of AI. Oh, do my scared face? Here, I got you real quick. But hot take. I don't love a beanie on Ethan. The beanie on Ethan is his signature look. I have Adobe for work and it sucks. What part don't you like about it? I think the only thing that I really hate about Adobe is the fact that it is an always online service that you can't use without Wi-Fi. Because it has to, like, even if you have them all installed and everything, you have to have the Creative Cloud account linked to the actual thing, and that honestly pisses me off so much. I left Adobe Suite last year. I hate their practices. There was a transition period, but I'm much happier with Affinity Suite and DaVinci Resolve. It really is just you become a. What I need to do is just go and. Never mind. I was about to talk about the other side of how to get Adobe. They own all your art that you create. Cool. It's not that good anyways. How true is that? Is that let me look it up. Adobe art usage. Because I've heard that before, but it's just like. Your agreement to their terms of service grant them a license to use your work to provide services such as storing, displaying, and reproducing it in the cloud. Adobe clarified that this license does not grant them ownership rights and that they do not use customer content to train AI models or sell it to third parties for advertising. Because that's what I would assume they use it for, is all their internal stuff. Like using it for like, they pull from a bunch of people's Adobe productions to make like some infographic that shows like a bunch of works that were made or something. I know specifically on Photoshop there is a setting that you can turn off to have it not. There's a setting you have to turn off on Photoshop, but you can turn it off to where it doesn't train using your images or something. Because I don't think it trains using your. It trains using the AI that you use on your images, I believe. So like, if you use an AI model on an image, it will then be updating its own AI model based on the responses. Like if you utilize the image that it produces, I think. Right, functionally the same thing. I could bring up more complaints, but I'm currently getting very high. I mean, realistically, I don't care if they want to use my shit for something like that. We don't own anything anyways. It's always just who can buy it up the quickest. Who can buy it for the lowest penny when you're the cheapest. Okay, but I do get a pretty mean check from the stuff I've uploaded to Adobe stock. Also, I hated them going from one-time fee to subscription model. No, that's what I'm saying. That's my biggest complaint. My biggest gripe is the subscription model because, yeah. I mean, for the longest time, what I did was, I was just a student. You know what I mean? I was a student. What can I say? Oops, I was a student. Ethan putting on the beanie is like a Goku's when he goes Super Saiyan, yeah. Goku going Super Saiyan. It's any of the Super Saiyans. They've reduced the Saiyan warrior state to a mere child's plaything, or whatever Vegeta says about Goten and Trunks being Super Saiyan. Oh, we're already 15 minutes late? I literally wasn't even paying attention. I guess I could continue reading this. I used to take joy in connecting with others online in a variety of spaces unrelated to the H3 podcast, and I have had to permanently step away from these spaces out of fear. I have had to remove online profiles that held precious memories, and I feel that I may never again be able to participate in social media without fear of being discovered. Again, it's like, should I feel bad for you? I do everything in Procreate now. I think honestly it's like a beast of burden, you know. Is switching over to new stuff is what would be the issue. Procreate peak. I might have to try it out. I mean, I've obviously looked around at different things. It is hard. Check if they're allowing redirects now. Let me see. Alex got the insider information.
Filmed in front of a...
They started. Thank you everybody for watching. I really do appreciate everybody that stopped in. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. It does not look like it. Nope. They do not have the redirects on. Sadly but surely, they do not. How sad, how sad. I really do appreciate everybody that stopped in. Remember to like and subscribe if you haven't already. I do this every Monday, Wednesday, and Friday before the H3 podcast. And yeah, I'm going to be doing some more streams over the weekend, talking about some other stuff too, as we gear up for the spooky season. Ooh. Thank you. This is Captain Quasar, signing off.